another Sims 4 speed build video, and today I'm going to be creating this Parisian French city inspired apartment in The Sims 4, of course. And the reason why it's already kind of made is because when I was making this was like during the peak period when my G shade wasn't working, and I told myself the show must go on. I need to continue to create regardless. So I told myself I'm gonna go into the game and I'm gonna try and create something, and then hopefully I can try and edit it in post and make it just look a little bit better. But then as I was going through it, it just wasn't working out for me, and it was just looking the weirdest thing. So when I finally got my G shade to work again after a month of just a lot of tears, a lot of crying, and a lot of hope, it did start working again. And ever since it started working again, I've been really appreciative. There's like certain things in life that you aren't appreciative, more important things in life actually. Yeah, like a roof over your head and food and water and everything like that. But one thing within the game that I specifically did take for granted was just the visuals of it. I'm such a visual focused person. I love my cinematics, as you guys could tell. So to have something that just looks virtually unrendered was not going to go with my MO for this entire channel. I'm aware that there are different types of channels that do not use any kind of shaders at all and can look like absolutely amazing, but my graphics on this game are not set to high. I think the only graphics that I have set to high on this game is probably my lighting. Everything else is probably set to medium, just because, like I've said before, I don't have a gaming computer, I don't have a gaming laptop, so I have to do what I can with this just standard HP pavilion that I have, and everything is basically set to medium in order to get it medium, or sometimes even low, in order to get it to be somewhat functional and somewhat appealing to look like. But the real unfulfilled all is through my G shade, so that's why I was really upset about it. But yeah, and then after that, a lot of things started to happen with the fairies pack and everything like that. So I had to start like making fairy centered content. But then I was like, okay, let me get all the builds I did during the period of where I finally got my G shade to work again, but before the fairies pack came out. So here we are. Here's my Parisian city apartment. I wanted to make this because I don't think I've made an apartment in a long, long time, which is weird for me. I probably have. I probably don't remember. But yeah, I probably haven't made an apartment in a very long time, and I felt this urge to make one. And I've been playing a lot on my celebrity save file, so I was like, I need to have something that's really, really like very bougie and very fancy and everything like that. And I decided to go to make a Parisian inspired apartment. Originally, I think you saw maybe at the start, I did have to recolor it a little bit because I made it all white because that's my default for these like city apartments with all the architecture. But then when I was looking at it, I was like, this could be Kensington. And like that's my default. Every single time I'm creating anything with a bit of Western European culture, I just end up looking at it and being like, this kind of looks like Kensington. So I had to recolor it as I looked back on my original source material, and I saw that it was not that color. Also, a babe like me is finally employed. I'm so happy about that. So I feel more at peace. I feel creativity flowing through me because I don't need to worry so much about work. So yeah, it's weird. Exactly. Weirdly enough, you know what? It's actually kind of odd. It's exactly 2 years since I last had a job. 2 years of applying for jobs, guys. 2 years. I've probably well into almost 1,000 job applications, but I'm there. I'm so happy about that. And it's actually in the industry I wanted, which is TV. So I'm very happy about that. But anyway, let's get back into this. And you want to hear me complain? Well, I'm still gonna complain about the job industry at the moment because a lot of my friends don't have jobs at the moment, which is a whole bunch of like, because a lot of them work in healthcare and they should be having jobs at the moment, but they don't. So this industry is still really messed up. So you will probably still hear me complain about it, but not as much as I used to. But anyway, with this build, I was really excited to make it because it had been a month without me building anything in the game and a month of me just kind of stressing about what's going on with the game. So when I could finally do this, I was like so hyped up. I was so excited. And I think that's why I felt like creativity wise, I was just doing very well when I made it. Because a lot of my builds, sometimes I look at them and I'm like, that's a bit ugly. But this one, I was like, you're not ugly at all. You're kind of cute. I like you. And another reason why I decided to upload this is because I wanted to upload this building into the gallery because, as you guys know, mostly when I'm making my multi-residential lots, I don't normally decorate all of the units because if I did that, you'll be surprised how little videos you get in at the moment. If I did that, you get like a video per month. Like it'll be that bad because especially if I'm doing it without CC, I can't decorate multiple apartments without CC. I can decorate one, and then the other ones I do play with, but I decorate with CC. And so much CC, it's ridiculous that if I had to upload it, it would be a whole mess. Like, for example, with the LA apartment, the reason that one is delayed or was delayed is because the day that I uploaded it, I think all of you saw what happened in the news regarding LA the following day, and I didn't want to seem like I was marketing off of that because that was actually something very serious and very important. And it was a very prevalent issue. So I didn't want to feel like as if I was marketing off of that when I uploaded the tray files the following day. So I was just like, okay, let me just wait for a while to upload the tray files for this apartment. And then when I went to come back to it, I then realized that some of the CC that I used within the game, for that, I was like, I looked at the websites that you would have to go on to actually download one specific pack, and I was like, I don't really support what this um organization's MO has been. I don't really support what they've done. So I was like, okay, I need to replace something from this CC in order to not, because I can't avoid it completely, this particular website, but I was like, I need to try and minimize it as best as I can, and I had to remove some things in order to change it with some things that you barely notice it, I promise you. And then after that, I was like, brilliant, perfectly okay. I found the time, and last week I was like, as I was uploading all the stuff to do with fairies and everything like that onto my tray files and everything, um I saw that the elevator wasn't working, and then I was thinking to myself, how on earth did I get my Sims to do the cinematic intro when I couldn't even get the elevators to work? So then elevators, lifts, they're called lifts, babe. Lifts. So I couldn't even get the lifts to work. So then I had to remove it from the gallery because it's like I can't upload that if the lifts aren't working. So then I had to find which specific lifts is gonna allow you guys to get it to work properly. And then I found it, and then after that, I already had decorated one of the apartments, which means I will need to download my gallery version of this build on another save file, remove everything I put on the other apartments because that was a whole bunch of CC that would definitely honored like a whole new massive CC list. I try to keep my CC at least below 25 um packs of CC stuff. So I was just like, okay, what am I gonna do in this situation? What am I gonna do now? And I was like, okay, let me upload this now. Let me upload an apartment, give you guys an apartment, and then I have to go back onto that apartment and re-upload that. So it's that one. And then I thought I had uploaded the oh, what do you call it? The early 2000s kind of like wealthy house. I thought I had uploaded that. Apparently not. During my whole like mess of trying to fix my game and everything like that, apparently I had not uploaded that, which was news to me. So then I have to go back on that. But since I had deleted my game and re-downloaded it and deleted it, I no longer have the tray files of any of my previous builds. Luckily, I have the saves, so they are there, but I don't have the tray files. So I do have to find where those builds are at and then re-download them, and it's just a whole thing. It's just basically a lot of maintenance. So that's what I told myself to do after I got my job and everything like that. I was like, okay, I can now spend time to do one, write my book, because I've got a book I'm writing. Two, write my script because I have a script I'm writing. But three, most of all, enjoy The Sims and build and build and build. So I was telling myself, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to go about this? How am I going to see how this goes? And then I just got so invested with my game because if you guys don't know, I do a weirder, not weirder, but I do a kind of variation of rotational gameplay. So, which basically what this entails is that I basically play my game standard to rotational gameplay. So you basically have multiple households within your save, and then you just like jump between the households to see what's going on, and sometimes they interact and stuff like that. So specifically, if you guys ever want me to kind of like show you guys my save files, I'll totally do that. The only problem is that the reason why I only ever do speed builds is because my game is very laggy, because it just does not, there's so much stuff in it, and my computer isn't the best, so it just doesn't run the best. It's to the point that even on my cinematic intros, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but I do speed them up by like 1.5, just because if I kept them at, and even still, it's a little bit laggy, but it's sped up enough that you don't see how laggy it is, but not sped up to the point that you can tell by like the offset that it's being sped up. But yeah, that's how laggy my game is. So I've always wanted to show you guys like different things, but as it's progressed and time has gone on, my game has just gotten laggy and laggy and laggier. So I have to really pick and choose what content I can make, and most of the time it is just mainly speed builds. And I don't need to make a cinematic intro, but it is what I get most excited about making this above anything else, except for this was supposed to be uploaded on Monday because I have an influx of builds for you. Because what I've noticed is that specifically this year, I've done quite a lot of builds for pack releases. So I did builds for the release of Business and Hobbies, and I did it for fairies, and I did it quite consistently then, but I need to be more consistent outside of pack releases. So I just want to show you guys that I do build quite a bit outside of pack releases. It's just I end up uploading pack releases a lot more for the sake of relevancy, but I do build almost like every day on this game. Is quite bad actually. It's quite bad, especially this week, and I think I've made like 4 builds. I was really enjoying myself. I think what motivates me a lot especially is when something just comes out right, when something is just looking the way that you want it to look. You just get really excited and you can't stop. I think if I made one ugly build this weekend, I would not have continued building. I would have just been like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. um for that particular weekend. But yeah, I just kept making a good build after out of a good build out of a good build. So it's just like I need to stop uploading these things because they're gonna generate a backlog. My SD drive cannot handle all of that. So that's why I'm uploading this. Also, I tell a bit of a lie. I'm a bit selfish in the way that I want to upload this as well, because this is part of my celebrity save file, as I said before, and I do have a Sims family that I would like to move into this apartment. So again, like I said before, I need to decorate the other apartments with CC because I did one without CC and I'm very much good. I want the rest of them to have CC in them. So in order for me to do that, I do need to upload this so I can then just do whatever I want with the apartment. So the family that I need to move into here, they're very like abstract, they're very fun, they're very maximalist, they're very like artsy. I imagine them the type of family that you normally see in media content, normally regarding New York and San Francisco, but sometimes you see it in Paris, where it is this character that realistically should be in a house share with like 4 other people, but somehow has this entire massive 2 bedroom, high rise, high ceiling place to themselves. So it makes you question, how on earth can you afford this when your job is what? An assistant, and you've come from humble beginnings. It kind of reminds me, because I told you guys before, I do want to make a Superman inspired build because I watched Superman and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But of course, I was gonna love it. Superman is my absolute favorite superhero of all time. I loved the themes. I loved how they were so relevant to what is going on currently in the world. And I loved how there was just a continuous push of hope. I love the themes of superhero films, particularly this year, where there's been this theme of continuous prevalence and going through dark times and continuously pushing, and the push of empathy, the push of humanity and conserving life and everything like that. Because I feel like we've had a lot of films lately, specifically within the superhero genre, but in a lot of genres where it's been quite dark, and I feel like that can work in certain cases. For example, again, my second favorite superhero within all of ever is Batman, and that is vigilante darkness at its peak. But he alone stands and works as the anti-hero he is. But I feel like a lot more characters have been becoming anti-heroes when they're not technically destined or suited to become anti-heroes or to become these dark characters. And this is me not saying that Superman can't be dark. Superman can absolutely be dark, and it's one of my favorite moments when they do explore his dark side, because he has a lot of frustrations that he's very valid for feeling. But I loved this feeling of unending hope, and I think, honestly, in all honesty, it was that film that helped me continue pushing with this job search, because it's not like I was going to give up. If I give up one day, I won't have a house over my head. So I kind of need to continue pushing on this job search. But it was, if you watch the film, it is just so, he could have given up at any moment. He should have. Like, there is so many situations where I would have just like thrown in the towel, and I would have been like, these people are just too evil. This situation is just too difficult. I don't know how to persevere out of this situation. And specifically within that time that I watched Superman, I had a rejection for a really big job that I wanted to do, and it really messed up my mindset for a very long time, because I don't know how much I can talk about job interviews and stuff like that, but I think that was like the um only, like, that was the third interview I've had in the last 2 years, and that was an interview for something. I went in this really beautiful building. It was in TV again. I made this really intensive PowerPoint and everything like that, and I was shortlisted out of like thousands of people, and I was like, so like, I imagined my life, and I was like, this is my everything. But then I didn't get it, and it really messed up with my head. But then when I was watching Superman, and it was that day, when I was watching Superman, I was just like, no, I need to continue going. I need to keep going. Like, honestly, it could be worse, Curly. Like, there could be a lot worse things going on. I can feel the emotions. I'm allowed to feel sad right now, but I need to keep going. I need to keep pushing and everything like that. And then I saw the other opportunity, and that's what I'm now doing. And I really love Superman, because it just keeps, 2 years is a long time. But I don't know, just it reminded me to like just have a little bit of fun, be patient, and have a little bit more hope. I don't think I've had hope in a long time, so I don't know. That's why he's always been my favorite superhero, and that's why I always adore him. Didn't really talk about much about Parisian architecture here, did I? Not at all. I kind of even went off the tangent I was originally talking about my tangent originally, where I was talking about how someone could afford this apartment in films, but technically they shouldn't have. What I'm just going to conclude that what I meant about that particular comment was because Superman, Clark Kent, boo, a shock to you, yeah, who would have thought, um owns an apartment in Metropolis, or rents, that's quite nice for the salary he technically has in the film. Like, it's really nice. And I looked at it and I was like, how can you afford that? But yeah, it's kind of that kind of vibe, that kind of theme. So yeah, just imagine putting your Sims that technically shouldn't afford this, but you know what? Motherload is a thing, cheats are a thing. And yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful. I try to capture the whole tiny Parisian kitchen aesthetic, because they have some very tiny kitchens in some of their apartments. I kind of failed a bit there, but anyways, it's still there. It still looks nice. It still looks pretty. And yeah, I hope you guys like this a lot. I hope you guys download this, and I hope you guys are prepared for my influx of just loads of kinds of builds. And yeah, give me any suggestions down below as well if you've got any builds. Oh wait, I also forgot, I do have a creator code, EmeraldStories. Just put that in your checkout if you like, if you want to do whatever you like with it. I just get a small commission out of that if you do use it, but if you don't want to use it, that's perfectly fine. I appreciate you staying this long and watching this entire ramble. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but if you don't want to, that's also okay. I appreciate you staying this long and listening to all of my ramblers. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below. I read all of your comments, the more the merrier. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Wait, no, goodbye.